At the tip of your nose. August 26, 1957. When feelings of pain or discomfort arise while you're sitting in meditation, examine them to see what they come from. Don't let yourself be pained or upset by them. If there are parts of the body that won't go as you'd like them to, don't worry about them. Let them be, because your body is the same as every other body, human or animal, throughout the world. It's inconstant, stressful, and can't be forced. So stay with whatever part does go as you like it to, and keep it comfortable. This is called Dhamma, being selective in what's good. The body is like a tree. No tree is entirely perfect. At any one time, it'll have new leaves and old leaves, green leaves and yellow, fresh leaves and dry. The dry leaves will fall away first, while those that are fresh will slowly dry out and fall away later. Some of the branches are long, some thick, and some small. The fruits aren't evenly distributed. The human body isn't really much different from this. Pleasure and pain aren't evenly distributed. The parts that ache and those that are comfortable are randomly mixed. You can't rely on it, so do your best to keep the comfortable parts comfortable. Don't worry about the parts that you can't make comfortable. It's like going into a house where the floorboards are beginning to rot. If you want to sit down, don't choose a rotten spot. Choose a spot where the boards are still sound. In other words, the heart needn't concern itself with things that can't be controlled. Or you can compare the body to a mango. If a mango has a rotten or a wormy spot, take a knife and cut it out. Eat just the good part remaining. If you're foolish enough to eat the wormy part, you're in for trouble. Your body is the same, and not just the body, the mind too. Doesn't always go as you'd like it to. Sometimes it's in a good mood, sometimes it's not. This is where you have to use as much thought and evaluation as possible. Or you can compare the body to a mango. If a mango has a rotten or a wormy spot, take a knife and cut it out. Eat just the good part remaining. If you're foolish enough to eat the wormy part, you're in for trouble. Your body is the same, and not just the body, the mind too, doesn't always go as you'd like it to. Sometimes it's in a good mood, sometimes it's not. This is where you have to use as much thought and evaluation as possible. Directed thought and evaluation are like doing a job. The job here is concentration, centering the mind in stillness. Focus the mind on a single object and then use your mindfulness and alertness to examine and reflect on it. If you use a meager amount of thought and evaluation, your concentration will give meager results. If you do a crude job, you'll get crude results. If you do a fine job, you'll get fine results. Crude results aren't worth much. Fine results are of high quality and are useful in all sorts of ways, like atomic radiation, which is so fine that it can penetrate even mountains. Crude things are of low quality and hard to use. Sometimes you can soak them in water all day long and they still don't soften up. But as for fine things, all they need is a little dampness in the air and they dissolve. So it is with the quality of your concentration. If your thinking and evaluation are subtle, thorough, and circumspect, your concentration work will result in more and more stillness of mind. If your thinking and evaluation are slipshod and crude, you won't get much stillness. Your body will ache and you'll feel restless and irritable. Once the mind can become very still, though, the body will be comfortable and at ease. Your heart will feel open and clear. Pains will disappear. The elements of the body will feel normal. The warmth in your body will be just right, neither too hot nor too cold. As soon as your work is finished, it'll result in the highest form of happiness and ease, nibbana, unbinding. But as long as you still have work to do, your heart won't get its full measure of peace. Wherever you go, there will always be something nagging at the back of your mind. Once your work is done, though, you can be carefree wherever you go. If you haven't finished your job, it's because 1, you haven't set your mind on it, and 2, you haven't actually done the work. You've shirked your duties and played truant. But if you really set your mind on doing the job, there's no doubt but that you'll finish it. Once you've realized that the body is inconstant, stressful, and can't be forced, you should keep your mind on an even keel with regard to it. Inconstant means that it changes. Stressful doesn't refer solely to aches and pains. It refers to pleasure as well, because pleasure is inconstant and undependable too. A little pleasure can turn into a lot of pleasure, or into pain. Pain can turn back into pleasure, and so on. If we had nothing but pain, we would die. So we shouldn't be at all that concerned about pleasure and pain. Think of the body as having two parts, like the mango. If you focus your attention on the comfortable part, your mind can be at peace. Let the pains be in the other part. Once you have an object of meditation, you have a comfortable place for your mind to stay. You don't have to dwell on your pains. You have a comfortable house to live in. Why go sleep in the dirt? We all want nothing but goodness, but if you can't tell what's good from what's defiled, you can sit and meditate till your dying day and never find Nibbana at all. But if you're knowledgeable and intent on what you're doing, it's not all that hard. Nibbana is really a simple matter because it's always there. It never changes. The affairs of the world are what's hard because they're always changing and uncertain. Today they're one way, tomorrow another. Once you've done something, you have to keep looking after it. But you don't have to look after Nibbana at all. Once you've realized it, you can let it go. Keep on realizing, keep on letting go. Like a person eating rice who, after he's put the rice in his mouth, keeps spitting it out rather than letting it become feces in his intestines. What this means is that you keep on doing good, but don't claim it as your own. Do good and then spit it out. This is Viraga Dhamma, dispassion. Most people in the world, once they've done something, latch onto it as theirs, and so they'll have to keep looking after it. If they're not careful, it'll either get stolen or else wear out on its own. They're headed for disappointment, like a person who swallows his rice. After he's eaten, he'll have to defecate. After he's defecated, he'll be hungry again, so he'll have to eat again and defecate again. The day will never come when he's had enough, but with Nibbana, you don't have to swallow. You can eat your rice and then spit it out. You can do good and let it go. It's like plowing a field. The dirt falls off the plow on its own. You don't need to scoop it up and put it in a bag tied to your water buffalo's leg. Whoever is stupid enough to scoop up the dirt as it falls off the plow and stick it in a bag will never get anywhere. Either his buffalo will get bogged down, or else he'll trip over the bag and fall flat on his face right there in the middle of the field. The field will never get plowed. The rice will never get sown. The crop will never get gathered. He'll have to go hungry. Bhutto, our meditation word, is the name of the Buddha after his awakening. It means someone who has blossomed, who is awake, who has suddenly come to his senses. For 6 long years before his awakening, the Buddha traveled about searching for the truth from various teachers, all without success. So he went off on his own, and on a full moon evening in May, sat down under the Bodhi tree, vowing not to get up until he had attained the truth. Finally, toward dawn, as he was meditating on his breath, he gained awakening. He found what he was looking for, right at the tip of his nose. Nibbana doesn't lie far away. It's right at our lips, right at the tip of our nose, but we keep groping around and never find it. If you're really serious about finding purity, set your mind on meditation and nothing else. As for whatever else may come your way, you can say, no thanks. Pleasure? No thanks. Pain? No thanks. Goodness? No thanks. Evil? No thanks. Paths and fruitions? No thanks. Nibbana? No thanks. If it's no thanks to everything, what will you have left? You won't need to have anything left. That's Nibbana. Like a person without any money, how will thieves be able to rob him? If you get money and try to hold on to it, you're going to get killed. This you want to take, that you want to take. Carry what's yours around until you're completely weighed down. You'll never get away. In this world, we have to live with both good and evil. People who have developed this passion are filled with goodness and know evil fully, but don't hold on to either, don't claim either as their own. They put them aside, let them go, and so can travel light and easy. Nibbana isn't all that difficult a matter. In the Buddha's time, some people became arahants while going on their alms round, some while urinating, some while watching farmers plowing a field. What's difficult about the highest good lies in the beginning, in laying the groundwork, being constantly mindful and alert, examining and evaluating your breath at all times. But if you can keep at it, you're bound to succeed in the end.